What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Like, comment, all the normal things that everybody asks you to do on YouTube. A little bit different video today. The Mercury is probably in for the season. I don't know if you can tell, but the hood's up and it's on the trickle charger. It is a nice day today. I took it out for a spin, but it's supposed to get cold and nasty. And anyway, what we're going to be doing today, start with a funny story. We're going to be starting the Bronco II back there. Well, you can see that. It's an 84 Bronco II. It's pretty much a trail rig. But the reason why we're going to be starting that, and it has not been started for probably about a little over a year at this point. I believe I fired it up last spring and I haven't done anything with it since. So this is kind of a will it start, but I know it's going to start. It's got non-ethanol fuel in it, even though it's been sitting for like a year and a quarter. It's got non-ethanol fuel on it, and you can see the extension cord. I keep it on a trickle charger, so it'll start, but the question is how much trouble is it going to be to finally get it fired up? Reason for that is, and here's where the funny story comes in. On my recent little vacation and trip down to northwestern Arkansas to visit a couple buddies on the Arkansas-Missouri Railroad and take some video down there, the old war wagon here nailed a deer at 70 miles an hour on the interstate. I-44, the thing was just looking stupid right there in the middle of the interstate. So it's got to go to the body shop here tomorrow, but I'm surprised at how little damage it did. I'm going to need a new bumper. That's trashed. The grill is trashed. My rough country off-road lights, surprisingly, those survived just fine. The brackets, I think, are fine. It's just where they attach to on the plastic grill are trashed. But and some trim pieces that shredded the wiring harness for this fog light, and that's loose. So, but the lift is probably what saved the truck. Again, I hit this thing just square in the ass at 70 miles an hour, and I had exploded deer ass on my truck. It was all over. In fact, there's probably a piece of deer meat still stuck up in there. I'll put a picture in the video. It was pretty disgusting. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I do have full coverage on the truck, but I do not have rental coverage, so I'm going to have to drive that, which that thing's fine off-road. It's fantastic off-road. I'll give you a rundown on what's all done to it, but it does not like daily driving and the interstate. So that's going to be really fun driving that to work. Let's get started. All right, guys, so this is a 1984 Ford Bronco II. This is my trail rig that I never get to use. Fairly basic build, but effective. 84, so it's got the carbureted 2.8 liter V6 that has been converted to a non-feedback carburetor and a Duraspark ignition from the computer-controlled nonsense carburetor. It's got a homebrew sealed snorkel intake on it. The distributor is not sealed, but I could ford a small stream pretty deep. I don't have the distributor boot that would make that waterproof as well. 8,000 pound Smitty-built winch, 456 gears front and rear. It is locked front and rear as well. Manual hubs, manual transfer case, manual transmission. There are no electronics on this truck to brake. It's pretty faithful, but this 2.8 liter, for those of you who have owned one or do own one, know that they are completely gutless. This thing's, 40 years old now. It had 115 horsepower from the factory. I'd be lucky if it's making 85 horsepower now. Like all the 2.8 liters, it's got valve guide seal issues. It burns oil. But again, the thing is pretty faithful. So I guess we'll check the oil here. And again, it's on the trickle charger, and it's got non-ethanol fuel in it, so it should fire up. But we'll see what it does here, and then maybe we'll take it for a quick spin. That's about a quart low. Before we go drive it, we'll put a quart in there, but it should be fine to start it up for now. I'll be honest with you, that was a lot easier than I figured it was going to be. It has been sitting for a little over a year, and I have not started it. Obviously, the non-ethanol fuel to not eat away the fuel system or the diaphragm in the fuel pump is a big thing. And the trickle charger obviously is another big thing. But I am still surprised that it fired up that quickly. That's a good sign. As you can see, it's burning oil, but just used to it. It's a good little rig. I don't ever get to use it as a trail rig and what I built it for. Obviously I work for the railroad, so time is at a premium, and events with the Mercury have taken precedence, especially this last summer. Again, these things are not powerhouses by any stretch of the imagination, but they are absolutely stupid reliable. Just running like, well, maybe not a sewing machine. It probably could use some carb clean and have the carburetor gone through again and all that, but it's reliable, just not fast. So I'm gonna let this warm up for a little bit. Doesn't have tabs on it right now, so we're not going to go for a long drive, but I'll take it for a spin around the block just to make sure that everything is still good on it. And I'll check the lights and all that to make sure enough on it is still working that it'll be okay to drive to work for a week or so while the truck's in the body shop. Well, the windshield wipers work, but they're pretty well trashed. I guess I'll have to pick up a set of those tomorrow. I'm not even sure there's rubber contacting the window anymore. Oh, here we go. This is the sloppiest 5-speed shifter ever that I've driven in my life. Whoa, yeah, still does good. How are the brakes? The brakes work. Everything's a little stiff though. That's for sure. All right. the same spot for a while. Maybe if I drive it a little bit, they'll wind out or round out, but that doesn't feel good at all. I didn't think radial tires were supposed to get flat spots like bias plies. Hey, don't get me wrong, these are some Chinese mud trains that I put on there. They're 32 1150s. It's got a homebrew 4-inch lift. This way here. Oh, it's gutless. Even with the 456 gears. This thing, let me tell you guys, is absolutely terrifying on the highway. I mean, it's really bad. I don't have a car mount for this particular vehicle for the camera here, so you'll have to bear with me. Taking it for a spin around the neighborhood here, make sure everything is kosher, or well, I guess I should say make sure everything is good enough. Don't let these 456 gears fool you. This thing is just mind-numbingly slow. That speedometer says 25, and I'm in third gear at 2,000 RPM. So they're steep gears, and it just, yeah. I have played around with it a little bit off-road, and it is very good with the 456 gears and the 32s. It's got enough ground clearance, especially with the mechanical lockers in the front and rear. It does very well. So far, everything seems to be pretty good. For sitting a year, the brakes seem very good. I mean, it's running about as piss poor as it usually does. It runs good enough. And sometimes it'll hang up on high idle, so that's always fun. So far, it's doing all right here. I think we're going to take it out on the main road here just to get back to the house. That way we can... I'll put my foot on the floor and let you guys see just how absolutely pitiful the acceleration on this thing is, even with these steep gears. Again, maybe 85 or 90 horsepower out of this thing at this point. Here we go. To the floor. That is floored. Absolutely floored. Floored. It's enough to do the interstate, but just barely. Turn signal on it sticks, it doesn't always return, and the indicator is burnt out, the bulb, so you got to listen for it clicking. Turn signals do work. guys, I don't know about you. It's not ideal, but it'll be good enough to go to and from work for a week, I think. My favorite phrase with a lot of things. I think it'll be good enough. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick look at the Bronco II. Oh god, just smells like burning oil out here. That's awful. It's got some sort of leak under there too, where it's either it's blowing it out, the oil out the breather or something, and I think it's landing on the exhaust manifold or something, but that's awful. Whatever, it'll be good enough to drive to work. It'll be fine. Thanks again. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. Appreciate it. As always, have a great day, guys.